following is a feature presentation of the Replay Sports Channel, the home for great games.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Divisional Round Saturday Night Football, WFL 24 exclusively here on the Replay Sports Channel. I'm your host, Glenn Walker, and we have game number 2 of our Saturday Divisional Round Football. It'll be the St. Louis Stars and the Memphis Express, two Central Division rivals, very familiar with one another, and tonight the stakes are high. The winner of this game will advance to the Western Conference Championship. The site of tonight's game, Titan Tech Stadium in Memphis. And as we can see on the playoff bracket, Tampa Bay, their demolishment of Rome earlier today, 55-3. Tampa Bay will be playing host to the Eastern Conference Championship. They await the winner of Paris and London tomorrow. Here we have St. Louis and Memphis. Both of these teams split their two meetings earlier this year. St. Louis won in week 1. Memphis got the second game a little bit later in the season. St. Louis gets here by way of a 23-16 victory over the Arizona Rattlers last week. They also lead the all-time series against the Express 8-5. Two very interesting young quarterbacks taking on one another tonight. Tua Tagovailoa for St. Louis threw for close to 5,000 yards this season, 4,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson, a Player of the Year candidate, 348 completions, 533 attempts, 4,207 yards, 27 touchdowns. He's also the leading rusher for the Express, 115 carries, 606 yards, 7 touchdowns. So Jackson can hurt you through the air and also on the ground. He's going to be definitely the number one concern of St. Louis coach Chip Kelly. Kelly making his 5th postseason appearance back in 2022. He led the Stars to the Pantheon Bowl. If St. Louis can pull off the upset here tonight, St. Louis will be headed to their 3rd straight Western Conference Championship. Memphis is led by head coach Mike Vrabel, who, other than just 2022 season, he has led them to the playoffs in each of his years here. He's 2-2 in playoff games. And in fact, his first season, 2021, he was able to lead the Express to the Western Conference Championship game. Should be an entertaining game between these two teams. We're going to take you out to Titan Tech Stadium. A quick live look outside as night has fallen here on December 21st, 2024. We're going to get ready to take you out to the field. Hope you enjoy the ball game. Cool 58-degree evening here, very little wind, clear skies on a late December night here in Memphis. And we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Please stand by. St. Louis enters the game 9-6. Memphis Express 11-3. They are the 2 seed heading into tonight's game. Memphis spoiling a 3 season in a row Central Division winning titles for St. Louis. Memphis won the Central Division this year. Captains are out at midfield with referee Clay Martin for the coin toss. St. Louis has won the toss, but they have deferred, so we will get to see Lamar Jackson and the Memphis Express offense first. Tyler Bass puts the football on the tee. Campbell, deep man to return. And the Western Divisional playoff is underway. And Kelly was the return man there.
The kick from base is returned 15 yards by Kelly. Branch on the tackle.
And let's take a look at that Memphis offense. Lamar Jackson, again, Offensive Player of the Year nominee at quarterback. Josh Jacobs, the lone running back. A.J. Brown, Josh Downs, Kendrick Bourne are the wide receivers. Darnold Parham Jr. is the tight end. John Michael Schmitz is the center. Cody Mock, Zach Martin are the guards. Broderick Jones, Michael Onwenu are the tackles. Memphis breaks the huddle. They are in their home uniforms. Red helmets, red jerseys, blue pants, blue numerals. They're going to be moving right to left across your screen.
Yard run by Jackson. Bates on the tackle.
Let's take a look at the St. Louis defense. Walker and Grenard are the defensive ends. Wilkins and Kinlaw are the defensive tackles. Jones and Quay Walker are the linebackers. Murphy and Ward are the cornerbacks. Simmons, Bates are the safeties. Jamel Dean is the nickelback. 2nd and 1. Early going here from Memphis.
Jacobs with the carry. Gain of 2. Grenard on the tackle. First down.
Jacobs missed a couple of games toward the end of the season due to injury, but he is in the starting lineup tonight.
Jackson on the carry. Gain of 15. Simmons on the tackle. First down.
Jackson forced out of the pocket that time. Pick up a 15.
Jacobs the ball carrier. No gain. Wilkins on the stop. Jackson completes the pass to Bourne. Gain of 2. Dean with the tackle. Jackson passes to Pierce. 8-yard gain. Savage on the tackle. First down.
So the Express convert their first third down opportunity of the night and they penetrate St. Louis territory. They mark the ball at the St. Louis 46. Just underway here from Memphis. No score between the Stars and the Express.
Yard run by Jacobs, Greenard with the tackle.
St. Louis with the WFL's #1 total defense, facing Memphis #5 ranked offense. Memphis is second in running offense and 7 in the passing offense.
Jackson completes the pass to Jacobs, 2-yard gain, Walker on the tackle.
Now bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Express. Now there's a penalty flag.
Jackson throws incomplete to Brown. Ward on the coverage.
Illegal contact, defense. Number 40, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Clay Martin, your referee for tonight's game. First penalty of the night goes against St. Louis. So first down, Memphis. Ball will be placed at the St. Louis 35. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. No score. Memphis on the move, opening possession of the game.
Jackson completes the pass to Bourne, gain of 4, Dean on the tackle. Timeout, Memphis.
So Lamar Jackson steps away from the line of scrimmage, saw something he didn't like, and Memphis will be forced to use their first timeout. You're watching the WFL exclusively on the Replay Sports channel. The WFL utilizes real NFL players and the advanced simulation capabilities of DK Sports Action PC Football. The WFL strives to create a thrilling, strategic, and statistically rich football environment that balances realism with innovation. Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Memphis Express. Again, only one season, his second season in 2022, did the Express not make it to the playoffs. Jacobs couldn't hold on to it.
Incomplete. Walker with the coverage.
That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Jackson with the carry, gain of 7, Simmons on the tackle, first down.
And we've seen Lamar Jackson do one of the things Lamar Jackson does best, and that's run with the football. Nothing open, so he takes off and runs. Pick up a first down, ball be at the St. Louis 24, 8 minutes to go, first quarter, no score. In the first of the 2 Western Divisional playoffs, Chicago at Las Vegas tomorrow night. .13th play of this opening drive. Penalty flag on the play.
Jacobs with a gain of 9 on the play. Bates on the tackle.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense. Number 3, automatic, first down.
So Chip Kelly not happy with the 2 penalties called on the defense there. This will put the Express inside the red zone. Memphis is 4th in the league in red zone offense. They're successful 90.5% of the time. St. Louis has the 6th ranked red zone defense. Opposing offenses are only successful 81% of the time.
Jackson on the carry, gain of 2, Jones on the tackle.
Express in a triple tight end formation there. And Jackson only able to pick up a couple. Another penalty flag.
Jacobs on the carry, gain of 3, Greenard with the tackle.
Holding, offense, number 84, 10-yard penalty.
And that will back the Express to the St. Louis 15. Remains 2nd and goal.
Jackson to downs, incomplete, Murphy with the coverage. Jackson throws incomplete to downs, Murphy on the coverage.
And it looks like St. Louis is going to escape this lengthy opening drive with just a Memphis field goal attempt. Kaimi Fairbairn is the kicker, and he was a perfect 34 of 34 on the season in the field goal kicking department. And Fairbairn
made the 33-yard field goal, Memphis 3, St. Louis 0.
So Memphis goes on a lengthy 18-play, 67-yard drive. It takes up just over 8.5 minutes. And they have to settle for a Kaimi Fairbairn field goal. McKenzie back deep to return for St. Louis. And that will be a touchback. .6:13 left to go in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the St. Louis offense for the first time. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback. Kenneth Gainwell gets the start at running back. Ramondre Stevenson still having some issues with his shoulder. Devontae Smith, Zay Jones, KJ Osborne are the wide receivers. Sam Laporta, Rookie of the Year nominee at tight end. Bradley Bozeman's at center. Joe Thuney, Wyatt Teller are the guards. Jordan Mailata and Jake Matthews at the tackles. As they break the huddle, St. Louis in their away white jerseys, gold helmets, pants, and black numerals with the gold trim. They're going to be moving left to right across your screen.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Laporta, McKinney on the coverage.
And take a look at that Memphis defense. Playing the 3-4, Nichols at nose tackle, Jefferson and Rousseau are the defensive ends. Outside linebackers, Jadeveon Clowney and Boy Mafe. Interior linebackers are Caden Ellis and Nicholas Morrow. Martin Emerson and Mike Hilton are the cornerbacks. Buda Baker and Xavier McKinney are the safeties. 2nd and 10. St. Louis with their first possession of the game. They had to wait a while. Memphis on an 8.5-minute drive resulting in a field goal.
Gainwell gains 4 on the draw, Baker on the tackle.
Gainwell last week carried the ball 13 times for 66 yards in the win over Arizona.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Smith. Emerson on the coverage.
And St. Louis starts with a 3-and-out. Martin comes out to punt the ball. Powell back deep to receive for the Express.
47-yard punt by Martin, return of 10 by Powell. Kelly with a gain of 9 on the play. Brooks on the tackle.
Joshua Kelly in at running back, giving Josh Jacobs a spell on the sideline there. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Express facing a 2nd and 1. Jacobs back in the game at running back.
Yard run by Jacobs, Simmons on the tackle, first down.
False start. Offense, number 8. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That'll back the Express to their 43. I'll bring up 1st and 15. Clock stops with 3:44 left to go in the first quarter.
Jackson with the carry, 16-yard gain. Bates on the tackle, first down.
And Memphis setting the tone early. Lamar Jackson running with the ball. St. Louis needs to find an answer for that. Already on the game so far, Jackson 5 carries for 49 yards. 16-yarder was his longest run of the game so far.
Jacobs on the carry, gain of 5, Wilkins on the tackle.
We mentioned St. Louis's defense, total defense number 1 in the league, but where the Stars struggle is against the run. The Stars ranked 19th against the run during the regular season.
Jackson passes to Downs, gain of 6, Murphy on the tackle, first down. Jackson completes the pass to Bourne, 10-yard gain, Dean on the tackle, first down. Kelly the ball carrier, no gain, Jones on the tackle. Jackson throws incomplete to Parham, Bates on the coverage.
Clock stops at 14 seconds. Memphis, 3rd and 10. Ball at the St. Louis 20.
Jackson passes to Bourne, incomplete, Dean on the coverage.
So Memphis, another missed opportunity here. Will have to settle for another Fairbairn field goal.
Fairbairn connects from 38 yards, Memphis 6, St. Louis 0.
So Fairbairn, 38-yard field goal. That came about as a result of a 10-play, 46-yard drive taking up 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Memphis in control, and if you're St. Louis, you got to be thinking, man, that could be a lot worse. They have to do something about Lamar Jackson, or this is going to be a long night. McKenzie with a return.
The kick from Fairbairn is returned 27 yards by McKinnon.
Illegal block.
Perryman with the
Receiving
tackle.
team.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. And it has been all Memphis so far, but St. Louis will get the ball deep inside their own territory to start the second quarter. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the divisional playoff between St. Louis and Memphis here on the Replay Sports Channel.
There's a moment in every man's day when the world slows down, and all that's left is the rich, satisfying flavor of a Monarch cigar, crafted for men who know what they want and get it. Monarch cigars deliver a smooth, full-bodied experience, wrapped in the finest aged leaves from the world's most exclusive plantations, for those who appreciate life's finer moments and the company that comes with them. Choose Monarch, the cigar of distinction. Monarch Cigars, rule your world.
We start the second quarter, and Memphis leads 6-0. They've clearly been the dominant team. St. Louis just had the ball for the one possession. They went 3 and out. So glad you're joining us here on the Replay Sports Channel. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Love to hear back from you as we are in the midst of our 2024 WFL playoffs. Tampa Bay earlier took care of Rome to book their ticket to the Eastern Conference Championship. Winner of this game will book their place into the Western Conference Championship.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Jones, gain of 11, Benford on the tackle, first down.
So Tagovailoa with his first completion of the day to Zay Jones.
Gainwell on the pitch, gain of 5, Jefferson on the tackle. Tagovailoa to Osborne, incomplete, Hilton on the coverage. Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Jones, Benford with the coverage.
And that'll bring up fourth down, and out will come the punting unit for St. Louis. Just 2 possessions so far, only 20 yards gained by the Stars.
A 50-yard punt by Martin, return of 3 by Powell. Jackson to Jacobs, incomplete, Walker on the coverage. Jackson completes the pass to Blasingame, gain of 4, Jones on the tackle.
3rd and 6 for Memphis. St. Louis needs to get a stop here.
Jackson with the pass to Bourne, incomplete, Dean on the coverage.
And St. Louis forces the 3 and out. And out will come Robbins. Brad Robbins will punt this away to Covey.
A 49-yard punt by Robbins, fair catch by Covey.
So defense does their job for the Stars. Now the offense looking to take advantage.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Jones, Benford on the coverage. Gainwell on the carry, 3-yard gain, Morrow on the tackle. Tagovailoa completes the pass to Jones, gain of 11, Benford on the tackle, first down.
And Tua's having difficulty there. But that time connecting with Jones for the 11-yard pass and a first down.
Gainwell on the pitch, no gain, Baker on the tackle. Tagovailoa to Jones, gain of 10, Benford on the tackle, first down.
So the Tua to Jones connection working good. Watch these other wide receivers, though, and the coverage. I mean, there is nothing there. The Express, their pass defense, doing a number on Tua and the Stars here tonight. Just under 10 minutes to go. Express only lead it 6-0, but they've clearly been the dominant team. Stars are inching their way closer to midfield.
Seven-yard gain by Tagovailoa, McKinney on the tackle.
Tua is also known for running the ball. So in addition to the passing touchdown last week to Smith, he also scored one running the ball. And that was really a pivotal moment in that game, that close game with Arizona.
Tagovailoa passes to Smith, gain of 8, Emerson on the tackle, first down.
Smith with his first catch of the night.
Yard run by Gainwell, Clowney on the stop. Tagovailoa completes the pass to Gainwell, loss of 1, Morrow on the tackle.
Halfway through the second quarter, Stars penetrating Memphis territory for the first time, facing 3rd and 7.
Tagovailoa to Smith, gain of 10, Emerson with the tackle, first down.
11th play of the drive coming up. Stars are at the Memphis 28, 6.5 minutes to go until halftime.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Smith, touchdown St. Louis.
And the Memphis defense looked confused there, as Smith grabs a touchdown pass, 28-yard touchdown pass to Smith, and Bass puts the Stars in the lead.
Point. St. Louis 7, Memphis 6.
So Stars take a lead after an 11-play, 80-yard drive, taking up 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Tagovailoa, 28-yard touchdown pass to Smith. Wanted to remind you about our weekly blog post around the WFL. Get all your dose of WFL action on our Substack page. Weekly recaps, weekly previews, off the field news on our Around the WFL Substack blog post. The subscription link is there. We'll also include it in the show description. So the Memphis defense seemed confused on that last play. And the Stars are back in it. 5:50 to go until halftime. We got us a ball game.
Jackson throws incomplete to Jacobs. Jackson completes the pass to Brown, gain of 14, Ward with the tackle, first down.
A.J. Brown with his first catch tonight. Brown leading Memphis in receptions this year. 86 catches, 1,256 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Jackson completes the pass to Brown, gain of 14, Ward on the tackle, first down.
And that will put them inside St. Louis territory with just under 5 minutes to go. Uh-oh, look out.
Jackson on the carry, gain of 34, Jones on the tackle, first down.
There's a reason why this guy is an MVP nominee. Look at this run. And Jones with the touchdown-saving tackle at the St. Louis 13. Jackson, 83 yards rushing on 6 carries.
Jacobs the ball carrier, 4-yard gain, Brooks on the tackle. Jacobs lost one on the play, Bates on the tackle. Jackson is sacked by Greenard, loss of 5.
And Greenard with the blind side there. First time we've seen Jackson hit behind the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
And the Express will have to settle for another Kaimi Fairbairn field goal to retake the lead.
Fairbairn is good from 33, Memphis 9, St. Louis 7.
Memphis, no problems moving down the field. It's just when they get inside the 10-yard line, they cannot get it past the goal line. This could be the developing situation of the game. St. Louis will get the ball back. Just under 2 minutes left to play.
Is down by McKenzie.
And all 3 other timeouts remaining. And by deferring on the coin toss, St. Louis gets the ball to start the third quarter.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Osborne, Hilton with the coverage. Yard run by Tagovailoa, Pinnock on the tackle.
Memphis calls a timeout here. They have one remaining. Clock stops with a minute 46. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Laporta, no gain, McKinney on the stop.
And Memphis will use their last timeout here. So Memphis forces St. Louis to punt, and Memphis will get the ball back with plenty of time.
Yard punt by Martin, return of 9 by Powell.
Minute 37 to go in the second quarter. The Express with a 9-7 lead over the Stars.
Jackson to Bourne, gain of 26, Bates with the tackle, first down.
Going no huddle here. They don't have any timeouts left.
Jackson throws incomplete to Bourne, Dean on the coverage.
Now stop the clock with a minute 10 left. Ball's at the St. Louis 41-yard line.
Jackson to Pierce, incomplete. Jackson is sacked by Wilkins, loss of 10.
And the St. Louis defense finally locating Lamar Jackson, second sack of the game. St. Louis will use their first timeout. Clock stops with 62 seconds left. Memphis will be forced to punt. Robbins going to try to angle this one toward the sidelines. Oh, that wasn't a good kick at all.
10-yard punt by Robbins, out of bounds.
Shanked it. 10-yard punt, and St. Louis with great field position at their own 41. 58 seconds left to go. 2 timeouts remaining. In case you're wondering, Tyler Bass' longest field goal of the season has been from 56 yards.
Tagovailoa to Osborne, 9-yard gain, Hilton on the stop.
They're going to go no huddle here.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Laporta. McKinney with the coverage.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 17. 5-yard penalty.
So that penalty will push St. Louis back to its own 45. Clock stops with 36 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Smith. Gain of 10. Emerson on the tackle. First down. Timeout, St. Louis.
So ball be at the Memphis 45, 31 seconds left. So they need ideally to get inside the 40, probably closer to the 35-yard line to be within Tyler Bass's range.
Tagovailoa to Laporta. Gain of 11. McKinney on the tackle. First down.
They're going no huddle again. They're going to try to get one more play in, try to get closer to Bass's range.
Tagovailoa to Laporta. Incomplete.
There is a slight wind here as the clock stops with 11 seconds. St. Louis does have the wind at their back, so they're going to go ahead and send out the kicking unit. This will give the Stars a 1-point lead just before halftime.
Base made the 52-yard field goal. St. Louis 10, Memphis 9.
Make sure to stick around for us at halftime. We'll do a recap of the first half and get you set up for tomorrow's divisional playoff games.
The kick from base is returned 13 yards by Downs. Branch on the tackle.
So we've reached halftime here at Titan Tech Stadium, and it's a close one. St. Louis with a 1-point lead over the Memphis Express. We're going to dive in, take a quick timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Divisional Round Playoff between the St. Louis Stars and the Memphis Express on the Replay Sports channel. We'll be back in a moment.
Some beers are just beers. But Iron Ridge Lager, it's a legend in a bottle. Born in the mountains, brewed for those who crave adventure. Whether you're scaling peaks, chasing sunsets, or just unwinding after a hard day's work, Iron Ridge Lager is your perfect companion. Smooth, crisp, refreshing, with a bold, full-bodied flavor that says, you've earned this. Not just any beer, your beer. Iron Ridge Lager. Taste the adventure.
We've reached halftime of the Western Divisional playoff game between the St. Louis Stars and the Memphis Express, and obviously two Central Division rivals who've played each other twice already this season. You wouldn't expect anything else. It's a close, low-scoring affair between these two teams as we dive into the numbers. Memphis, 2 long drives to start the game, but could only get Fairbairn field goals from 33 and 38 yards. They led 6-0. Then, late in the second quarter, we began to see some movement by St. Louis. Tagovailoa, 28-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Smith, gave St. Louis their first lead of the game. Another great drive by Memphis, stalling inside the 10-yard line, and Fairbairn kicks his third field goal of the night. Memphis regaining the lead 9-7, and then with just seconds left after executing a great 2-minute drill by Tagovailoa, Tyler Bass with a 52-yard field goal to give St. Louis the halftime lead there. Taking a look again at the numbers, Memphis dominating most of the categories there, almost 20 minutes of time of possession, almost 200 yards in net offense. But we're starting to see the pressure being brought by the league's number one defense. St. Louis recorded 2 sacks on third downs, which ended drives by Memphis. And in the player comparisons here, Tagovailoa, 11 of 18, 107 yards and the 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 10 of 20 for 90 yards. Jackson also leads the Memphis Express rushing, 6 carries for 83 yards. St. Louis struggling as a team. They've only gained 27 yards rushing. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 56 yards, and the touchdown for the Stars. Kendrick Bourne, 4 catches, 42 yards for the Express. It should promise to be an exciting second half as a spot into the Western Conference Championship is on the line. So we have 2 more games tomorrow to round out our conference championship slate. Early morning, we have Paris at London, 2 Europa Division rivals taking on one another. That'll be the early game. And then the surprising Chicago Fire, the 6th seed in the West, after the upset at Mexico City. They travel to Las Vegas to take on the number 1 seed and defending Pantheon Bowl champions, the Las Vegas Outlaws. Earlier today, Tampa Bay took care of Rome, 55-3. Most points scored, largest margin of victory by a team in a divisional round playoff. So Tampa Bay will be hosting the Eastern Conference Championship next week at Majestic Motors Stadium. So both teams are back out after their halftime talks, and we are set to go for the next 30 minutes of football to determine who moves on to the Western Conference Championship. Two franchises with a lot of playoff experience. St. Louis, 22nd postseason appearance. They're 22-14. Memphis making its 15th postseason appearance. They're 11-13. St. Louis will get the ball to start the second half.
The kick from Fairbairn is down by McKenzie.
So we saw the momentum shift to St. Louis late in the first half. We'll see if they can carry that over into the second half.
Tagovailoa to Jones, gain of 7, Benford with the tackle. Gainwell on the sweep, gain of 3, Nichols on the tackle, first down. Tagovailoa to McKinnon, gain of 13, Baker on the tackle, first down.
And Jerick McKinnon makes his first appearance in the game, and it's a big play to produce a first down. Takes the swing pass from Tua. And gets to the St. Louis 48-yard line. Just underway here in the third quarter. In a tight contest between these two Central Division rivals.
Tagovailoa lost 5 on the play, fumble recovered by Tagovailoa, St. Louis maintains possession.
And I think Bozeman snapped it when he wasn't supposed to because Tua was not ready for the ball. So I'll back him up to the St. Louis 43, brings up 2nd and 15.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Laporta, 18-yard gain, McKinney on the tackle, first down.
Now we've got to watch his replay here because Laporta catches the ball at the 50. He goes down, but he isn't touched, and he's smart enough to get back up and pick up a few more yards. Finally tackled by McKinney. Smart play there by the rookie from Iowa.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Jones, Benford on the coverage. Tagovailoa passes to Smith, gain of 5, Emerson on the tackle.
Third down coming up. Comparing both teams on third down, both teams have struggled tonight. St. Louis just 2 of 5, Memphis 3 of 8.
Tagovailoa to Smith, incomplete, Emerson with the coverage.
And they're going to have to settle for a Bass field goal.
Base is good from 52, St. Louis 13, Memphis 9.
Well, I tell you, that one was heading toward the right and then finally hooks in. But it's good. And with 10:51 left to go in the third quarter, the Stars extend their lead 13-9. 9-play, 41-yard opening drive, taking up just over 4 minutes. Bass with a second field goal, 52-yarder, second 52-yarder of the night. And Memphis getting ready to get their first possession of the third quarter.
Kick from base is down by Kelly.
What can Lamar Jackson and company do here?
Jacobs on the carry, gain of 7, Walker on the tackle. Jackson to Brown, gain of 11, Ward on the tackle, first down.
Great concentration there by Brown. Gets the ball in, gets both feet in bounds. before the friendly shove by Ward out of bounds. Under 10 minutes to go. Memphis nearing midfield.
Jackson with the pass to Downs, incomplete. Murphy on the coverage.
Downs couldn't hang on to it, right through his hands.
Jackson on the carry, gain of 6. Wilkins with the tackle.
I think that's the first designed run we've seen from Jackson tonight. Penalty flag.
Jackson completes the pass to Piers. 15-yard gain.
Holding.
Savage on the tackle.
Offense.
First
Number
down.
69. 10-yard penalty.
And they're going to get the left guard, Cody Mock, for holding. And it was a great play, too. Jackson just throws a bullet to Pierce in stride. Would have been a first down, but now the Express are facing 3rd and 14 back at their own 39.
Encroachment defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
That'll move the ball to the Memphis 44. 5th penalty of the night for St. Louis. Memphis has been penalized 3 times so far. Another penalty flag. Woo.
False start. Offense. Number 8. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
And they got Lamar Jackson on a head bob there, it looks like. Clay Martin, been a busy referee here the last couple of moments. So they move the ball back 5 yards. It's 3rd and 14 again.
Jackson is sacked by Kinlaw. Loss of 5.
And St. Louis records their 3rd sack of the night. And again on a 3rd down. And that'll bring up the punting unit. And you're starting to hear the Boo Birds here at Titan Tech Stadium. Express forced to punt this one away.
48-yard punt by Robbins, return of 8 by Covey.
We've reached the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. Stars lead it by 4, 13-9. They'll start from their own 26.
Tagovailoa passes to Gainwell, 2-yard gain, Morrow on the tackle.
Nobody open. Memphis is using that nickel defense, and I mean, Tua had to go through all his progressions there, and he had to check down to the running back.
Tagovailoa throws incomplete to Smith. Emerson on the coverage.
Two teams know each other so well. They've already played each other twice this season, so there's not much one that doesn't know about the other. 3rd and 8 coming up.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Smith, gain of 11, Emerson on the tackle, first down.
Sixth catch of the night for Devontae Smith. St. Louis moves the chains.
Gainwell with the 2-yard run, Borderman on the tackle. Tagovailoa completes the pass to Osborne, gain of 13, Hilton on the tackle, first down.
And St. Louis inside Memphis territory with just 5 minutes, 6 seconds left to go, third quarter, looking to increase their lead.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Laporta, 10-yard gain, McKinney on the tackle, first down. Five-yard gain by Gainwell, Mafe on the tackle. Two-yard run by Tagovailoa, McKinney on the tackle. Tagovailoa passes to Laporta, gain of 7, McKinney on the tackle, first down.
I got to see the replay of that. I do not know how he caught that. Between two defenders, Laporta makes the catch down at the Memphis 22. First and 10, 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Tagovailoa completes the pass to Smith, gain of 7, Emerson on the tackle. Tagovailoa to Osborne, gain of 7, McKinney on the tackle, first down.
And first and goal for St. Louis, and they are going up against the next to last red zone defense. Memphis opponents are successful inside the red zone 92% of the time.
Tagovailoa the ball carrier, no gain, Ellis on the stop. End of the third quarter, St. Louis 13, Memphis 9.
We're through three quarters. 15 minutes to go until we know who will be moving on to the Western Conference Championship. You're watching the divisional round playoffs between St. Louis and Memphis on the Replay Sports Channel.
Some follow the road, others rewrite it. Introducing the 2025 Apex Striker GT, where innovation meets adrenaline. Powered by a twin-turbo V10 engine delivering 700 horsepower, the Apex Striker GT propels you from 0 to 60 in just 2.7 seconds. With dynamic all-wheel drive and precision-tuned handling, every twist and turn becomes an invitation. Luxury, performance, unstoppable confidence. The Apex Striker GT. Drive the extraordinary.
We got a close one here in Memphis. Stars and Express, 15 minutes to go. One team will be going to the Western Conference Championship. And we were just handed this by our stats team. Number 2 seed versus number 4 seed since the change in the playoff format. Number 2 seed is 11-3 versus the 4 seed. So only 3 times in playoff history has a 4 seed defeated a 2 seed. Might we see it happen tonight for the 5th time or for the 4th time in playoff history? St. Louis knocking on the door to extend their lead. 2nd and goal, ball at the Memphis 8. Got in, touchdown.
Gainwell on the carry, touchdown St. Louis. Base converts the extra point, St. Louis 20, Memphis
Personal
9.
foul. Defense. 15-yard penalty.
And some tempers are starting to flare as Jadeveon Clowney will be called for a personal foul. So that's going to move the ball near midfield. So St. Louis scores the touchdown. Gainwell 8-yard run, 13 plays, 74-yard drive, 7.5 minutes of possession. Then the penalty on Clowney for unsportsmanlike means kickoff coming from the 50-yard line. So still plenty of time left for Memphis. They trail by 11.
Jackson to Bourne, 3-yard gain, Dean on the tackle.
False start. Offense. Number 77, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
They'll call the left tackle on that one. I'll move him back to the Memphis 23.
Jackson the ball carrier, gain of 4, Walker on the tackle.
3rd and 8 coming up for Memphis.
Jackson completes the pass to Downs, gain of 12, Murphy on the stop, first down.
Huge catch by Downs.
Jackson to Downs, gain of 5, Murphy with the tackle. Jackson on the sweep, 17-yard gain, Simmons on the stop, first down.
And with that carry, Lamar Jackson has reached 110 yards rushing on only 9 carries.
Jackson to Parham, incomplete, Bates on the coverage.
Jackson got hit as he threw, but Parham could not hold on to the pass. Clock stops with 11:17 left in regulation. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Jackson is sacked by Walker, loss of 5.
Jackson's going to have to get rid of the ball a lot faster. 4th sack of the night for that St. Louis defense. 3rd and 15 coming up.
Jackson completes the pass to Brown, gain of 10, Ward on the tackle.
So no question, they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Trailing by 11, 10.5 minutes to go in this game. Number 2 seed in trouble. Oh, he's going to stop him short.
5-yard run by Jackson, Bates on the tackle.
And he did not get it. Short of the mark. The Stars hold.
Tagovailoa passes to Jones, gain of 9, Benford on the stop. Timeout, Memphis.
St. Louis coming into this game as a 7-point underdog. Withstood some of the early onslaught by Memphis, held them to just field goals. They've held them to just 3 field goals tonight.
Gainwell with a 2-yard run, Baker on the tackle, first down. Tagovailoa passes to Jones, gain of 12, Benford on the tackle, first down.
It's a very different St. Louis team than what we saw early part of this game.
Encroachment, defense. Number 24, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Six-yard gain by Tagovailoa, Rousseau on the tackle, first down.
Getting close to the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Memphis still has had the ball a little bit longer than St. Louis, but St. Louis is catching up.
Gainwell on the carry, gain of 4, Baker on the tackle.
And they're just ahead of the Express in total offense, 282 to 265.
Tagovailoa passes to Jones, incomplete, Benford on the coverage.
They'll bring up 3rd and 6. Clock stops with 6.5 minutes to go.
Tagovailoa is intercepted by Hilton, return of 0.
Hilton with the interception, and that's the first turnover by either club we've seen tonight. As we watch the replay there, St. Louis was ready to put the dagger in, but Hilton gets the stay of execution. 6.5 minutes to go. The Express are not out of this yet. Lamar Jackson and his offense ready to get to work.
Jackson to Bourne, gain of 17, Dean with the tackle, first down.
And they're going to go hurry up offense here. Down by 2 scores.
Jackson to Bourne, 7-yard gain, Dean on the tackle. Jackson with the pass to Bourne, gain of 6, Dean with the tackle, first down.
Fifth sack of the
Jackson
night.
sacked by Wilkins, loss of 6.
And for Wilkins, that's his second of the night.
Jackson throws incomplete to Pears, Savage on the coverage.
When he's not being sacked, Jackson is being hit. And I mean, it's in that gray area, but Clay Martin and the officials are letting that go. Clock stops with 5 minutes, 4 seconds left. 3rd and 16 coming up.
Jackson to Brown, gain of 19, Bates on the tackle, first down. Jackson on the carry, loss of 1, Bates on the tackle.
Memphis going back to the no huddle. Just over 4 minutes left to go. Can mark him at the 2.
Gain of 29, Simmons on the tackle, first down. Jackson on the carry, gain of 1, Brooks with the tackle. Jackson with the carry, loss of 1, Walker on the tackle. Jacobs on the carry, touchdown Memphis.
So Memphis finally gets the elusive touchdown. Jacobs with the short yardage run. They trail by 5, so they are going to have to go for 2 here. And it's a 3-point ball game.
Is successful. St. Louis 20, Memphis 17. Onside kick recovered by St. Louis.
So St. Louis recovers the onside. Clock stops with 2:14 to go.
Gainwell lost 1 on the play, Ellis on the tackle. Two-minute warning.
So this has been a close game throughout. These two Central Division teams playing one another for the 3rd time this season. Memphis desperately trying to get the ball back.
Gainwell on the carry, gain of 2, Jefferson on the tackle.
Memphis will use their 2nd timeout. Clock stops with 1:56. penalty flag as a face mask.
Ovalo to Jones. Gain of 8. Baker on the tackle.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense. Number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And that might be the final nail. Memphis can only stop the clock one more time.
Gainwell with a gain of 4 on the play. Morrow on the tackle. Gainwell on the carry. No gain. Nichols with the tackle.
And Memphis will use their third and final timeout. As we said at the start of the fourth quarter, in league history, since the playoffs were revised in 2001, the 4 seed has only beaten a 2 seed 3 times out of 14 games. St. Louis on their way to their 3rd consecutive Western Conference Championship game. And after the kneel down, they're going to let the clock run down as much as possible. And Chip Kelly will call the timeout.
Timeout. St. Louis. St. Louis 20. Memphis 17.
With 23 seconds left. And they will bring out Tyler Bass for another field goal. And he missed it. Went right.
Bass missed the 38-yard kick.
So don't go anywhere. There are 18 seconds left. Does Lamar Jackson have a play in him to get Memphis back from the brink? Going for it, 5 wide receivers here.
Jackson passes to Brown. Incomplete.
12 seconds left. From their own 28.
Jackson to Downs. Gain of 1. Murphy on the tackle.
Got to hurry up. I don't think they're going to have time.
St. Louis 20. Memphis 17.
And we have our first upset of the divisional round. The St. Louis Stars, a 7-point underdog, defeats the Memphis Express by a score of 20-17. Your Apex Striker GT player of the game goes to Tua Tagovailoa, 25 of 37, 236 yards, 1 touchdown. And the St. Louis Stars are heading back to the Western Conference Championship for the 3rd year in a row. And the Memphis players on the sideline are just dazed. They cannot believe it. Heavily favored. They came out as the dominant team, but St. Louis withstood the onslaught and took control of this game late in the first half and outscored the Express in the second half. So again, as a reminder, tomorrow we got 2 more games for you. Paris at London. Winner of that game will be going to Tampa Bay next week for the Eastern Conference Championship. And then the late game, Chicago at Las Vegas. And there's a scenario here where if Chicago were to upset Las Vegas, St. Louis would be hosting the Western Conference Championship. We've seen crazy things happen before, so we'll see. Again, make sure to hit like and subscribe for content so you can see the games as they happen. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching Replay Sports Channel. I'm Glenn Walker signing off. Have a great evening.